Fun fold cards are, well, fun, right? Well, today I have a fun fold card that is going to blow your mind. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it might look. It's actually very simple to make. Hi, it's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. In this episode of Stamptastic TV, you will learn how to make a quarter fold card. We will be layering together 2 pieces of cardstock and then tucking in the ends of the cardstock to create the fun fold section. Now the fun folds tuck underneath each other the same way as you would tuck folds on a box to keep it closed without tape. The card featured in this video showcases products from the Stampin' Up! Follow Your Art suite, but keep in mind that you can use any stamp set or any pattern papers you have on hand to create this fun fold card. Just get creative with it. By the end of this video, you will have a simple fun fold card that you can create for just about any occasion. For the latest card making ideas, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click on that little bell so you will be notified each time I upload a new video. And for more fun fold card ideas, simply click on the link featured at the top of the screen. Okay, so first let's talk about the supplies you will need to create this card. You will need some cardstock that coordinates with the pattern papers that you want to use. So for this card, I will be using some Pool Party and Whisper White cardstock. And this cardstock coordinates with some of the fun pattern papers that I will be using from the Follow Your Art Designer Series paper pack. So I will actually be using the front and the back of one of the pattern papers in this pack. I will also be using the stamp set that coordinates with this product suite. It is called It Starts With Art, and it has some fun little images in it to help me decorate this card. Of course, you will also need some ink, so I am using a variety of different colors. We're going to use black Memento ink, some Daffodil Delight, Calypso Coral, and Pool Party. Now, on the inside of the card, I did a bit of coloring using some of my stamping blends, but feel free to use any of your favorite coloring tools once we get to the inside of the card. So for this card, I'm just going to tell you the colors that I used. So I used Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, Pool Party, and Smoky Slate. And then you will also need some type of shape, a small shape like a square, circle, or oval. I'm just using 2 different size circles so that I can layer them together to create a little matted image for the front of the card. And finally, I used a few things from the Follow Your Art embellishment kit to decorate the card. So I used some of these little felt images that come in this kit. All right, I think that's it. Let's get started. Okay, we are going to start by creating the quarter folds which make up the base of the card. So you will need 2 8.5 by 11 inch pieces of cardstock to create the quarter fold card. So we're going to start by cutting the first piece of cardstock at 8.5 by 5 3/8 inches. Since the cardstock is 8.5 by 11 inches, you will be cutting it at 5 3/8 inches on the 11-inch side. Once you have the cardstock cut, score the 8.5 inch side at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. Now, just a little cutting tip for you. You basically need to create a 2/8 inch score line on each side of the cardstock. So I find it easier just to score one side of the cardstock at 2 1/8 inches, and then I turn the cardstock around and score the other side at 2 1/8 inches. That way I only need to remember one measurement. Okay, so now we're going to flip this over and we're going to add some strong adhesive like tear-in tape to the back of the middle section of this piece of cardstock. And then we're just going to set it aside. We're going to be adhering this piece to the next one that we're going to cut and score. Okay, next you're going to cut the other piece of cardstock to create a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece. Now, since the cardstock again is 8.5 by 11 inches, you will be cutting it in half by making a cut at 4 1/4 inches on the 8.5 inch side. Score the 11 inch side at 2 3/4 inches and 8 1/4 inches, or you can simply score it again using the tip I shared earlier. So you will have a 2 3/4 inch section on each side of this piece of cardstock. Now lay this piece of cardstock directly in front of you. Notice that the flaps for this piece are to the left and to the right of the middle section. Now take the other piece of cardstock that you created, the one with the adhesive on the back, and adhere it to the middle section of this piece. Now you want to adhere it so that the flaps on this piece are positioned on the top and bottom of that middle section. So in essence, you're creating a flat box. So your box should have 4 sides. It should have flaps on the top and bottom and flaps on the right and left side. Okay, now that we have that piece adhered, let's start by folding all of the sections together. Okay, we're going to start by folding the top flap down first. Now it really doesn't matter which direction you start, I just want to point that out, but I'm going to start you with the top section just to make it easier to follow along. So start by folding the top flap down. Next, fold over the right flap of the card so that it overlaps onto the top flap. Then fold up the bottom flap so it overlaps onto the right one. And finally, we can fold over the last flap on the left side of the card. Now, in order to keep the card closed, the corner of this final flap needs to be tucked underneath that top flap. Okay, so let me show you how to do that again. So simply lift up on the top flap, and you'll have to bend the card just a little bit to tuck under that flap on the left side of the card. All right, so there you go. We have just created the quarter fold card. It wasn't that hard, was it? All right, now let's decorate it. So we are going to start by decorating the outside of the card first. And the best way to decorate this card is to do it when it's in that closed position. That way you will be sure to adhere all of the pattern papers to the correct sections of the card. So you're going to start by cutting 4 pieces of pattern paper at 2.5 by 1 7/8 inches. You're going to adhere 1 piece of pattern paper to each of the 4 sections on the front of the card. Now you can use the same pattern for the entire card, or you can make them all different, or you can mix and match the patterns. So for this card, I decided to just use 2 different patterns. Next, you're going to cut out a circle from a piece of white cardstock that is approximately 1 1/4 inches in diameter. You want this piece to be small enough so that it fits on one of the squares for the front of your card. Next, you're going to cut out a second circle that is slightly larger than the first one from a piece of Pool Party Cardstock. Stamp a greeting on the circle using black ink. Then stamp the small button images on the circle using Daffodil Delight and Calypso Coral ink. Once you have completed your stamping, layer the white and Pool Party circles together and adhere them to one of the squares on your card front using a few dimensionals. Then for the finishing touch, embellish the card with some of the fun shapes from the Follow Your Art embellishment kit. And that's it. How cute is this? Now let's decorate the inside of the card. Now I enjoy decorating the inside of my cards just as much as I do decorating the outside. So drop me a comment below and let me know whether you decorate the inside of your cards or do you just leave them blank to write a personalized message. So to decorate the inside of the card, it's pretty simple. We're just going to start with a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of white cardstock. And we're going to do a bit of stamping on this cardstock. So stamp the spool of ribbon image on the white cardstock using some black ink. Then go ahead and stamp a sentiment as well. Color in the spools of ribbon using your favorite coloring tools. So for this card, I'm using a variety of different colored stamping blends. Once you have completed your coloring, ink up the large button image using Daffodil Delight ink and randomly stamp it above and below the ribbon spools. Now ink up the small button image with some Calypso Coral ink and randomly stamp that one above and below the ribbon spools. And finally, ink up the image with the set of 3 buttons using some Pool Party ink and randomly stamp it again above and below those ribbon spools. Now go ahead and adhere the white cardstock to the inside of your quarter fold card. Now you have a fun quarter fold card idea that you can use with any stamp set or any pattern papers you have on hand. Just get creative with it. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to download the printable tutorial. You can find the link in the description below this video. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. And leave me a comment below to let me know what you enjoyed most about the video and the card shared here today. Have fun getting creative, take care, and I'll see you soon.